Most NRIs, that is Indians living abroad, think if they move their money to India, taxes and paperwork will explode. But India quietly built a financial zone where you can invest in US dollars, get important tax advantages, and move money in and out more smoothly. It is called Gift City.
Year, Gift City stepped into a global spotlight, not as a single sector pitch, but as India's emerging international finance getaway.
And if returning to India is even remotely part of your future plan, or investing in India is part of your plan, this is something you should understand. But before you get excited, there are three things about Gift City that most people completely misunderstand. And if you get them wrong, this can actually create tax problems instead of saving your money. If you're new here, I'm Sushant. I retired at 41 from corporate career in the US using only my salary and smart investing. And because many people in this community are NRIs thinking about either investing in India or eventually returning back to India, one topic keeps coming up again and again: Gift City. తెలుగు వాళ్ళు ఒక ట్యాప్ చేస్తే చాలు సబ్స్క్రైబ్ అయిపోతుంది. Alright, now let's break this down step by step. Let me explain this with a simple example. Imagine Raj lives in California and obviously earns in US dollars. He wants to invest part of his money in India because Indian economy is growing, as we all know. Now, normally he would have to send this money to his NRE account in India, convert dollars to rupees, invest in Indian markets, and then deal with the taxes, paperwork, and currency fluctuations. Gift City was created to solve that exact problem. Think of it like a financial duty-free zone, but inside India, a place designated to attract global investors. Countries like Singapore and Dubai built similar financial hubs. India is now trying to do the same thing with Gift City. Here, your money can come in directly in dollars, it can stay in dollars, and many investments there follow a completely different rule book than the regular Indian investing. So why did India build something like this in the first place, right? So for decades, a lot of Indian money flowing around the world never actually came back to India. Investors would route money through places like Singapore, Dubai, or Mauritius. Not because they loved those places, but because those financial centers made global investing easier. Right? The rules were simpler, taxes were often more efficient, and moving money across borders was smoother. So India looked at that and said something interesting. What if we build our own international financial hub right here inside India? A place where global investors, NRIs, and institutions could invest under international style rules but still stay connected to Indian economy. And that idea eventually became Gift City. So what can you actually do inside Gift City with your money? Let's go back to Raj. You know, Raj earns in US dollars and wants some exposure in India. So inside Gift City, the first thing he can open is something called International Banking Unit, also called as IBU. Think of it like a US dollar bank account with an Indian bank, but located inside Gift City. Now here's where it gets interesting. With a normal NRE account, Raj, oh my God, the little Rajas are too loud in the background. Now here's where it gets interesting. With a normal NRE account, Raj usually converts his dollars into rupees. But inside Gift City, that account can stay completely in dollars. Now technically even FCNR deposits allow you to keep money in foreign currency, right? But those usually come with a long lock-in period, often 1 year or more. Inside Gift City, but those usually come with a long lock-in period, often 1 year or more. But inside Gift City, some deposits offer much more flexibility, liquidity as low as 6 or 7 days. So if Raj simply wants to park his dollars and earn interest, this can be one option. But most people are not coming to Gift City just to park their cash, right? They are coming for investments. And that is where things start to get more interesting. Because most people think investing through Gift City requires a huge amount of cash. But that is not right. For example, some of the largest funds inside Gift City requires about $150,000 or more to get started. So a lot of people assume this is only for a very wealthy investors, but that is not always true. Raj does not have $150,000 sitting around just to invest in one fund, right? But inside Gift City, there are also retail fund management entities, also called as FMEs or retail FMEs. These allow investors to start with amount as low as just $500. That means someone like Raj can invest in a professionally managed portfolio, often in the US dollars, while getting exposure to Indian market. How cool is that? For many NRIs who thought Gift City requires six-figure investment, that is actually a big surprise. Now, before we go deeper into how investing actually works here, there is one practical piece most people ignore: how you move your money between US and India. Because whether you are investing internationally or just sending money back home, the transfer itself matters more than people think. Exchange rates, hidden fees, timing, these things quietly eat into your returns. That is where platforms like Krobo comes in. They focus on better exchange rates, sometimes even better than Google exchange rates, zero transfer fees, compare that to the traditional bank, and over time that difference can actually add up, especially for large transfers or regular transfers. I will leave my special link in the description below. They are offering $25 gift card for your first transfer or $500. Now coming back, let us understand how you actually invest inside Gift City. Now another interesting question is this: can Raj actually invest in Indian stock market through Gift City? The answer is yes, but usually not the same way you would go through a normal brokerage account, right? Most investors use fund structure based in Gift City. So Raj can send US dollars into Gift City, invest in a professionally managed fund, and that fund can invest in Indian equities. The interesting part is this: Raj's money can come in dollars, stay inside Gift City ecosystem, and move back out in dollars as well. So instead of converting your dollars into rupees and then worrying about bringing it back later, this entire structure is designed to handle cross-border investing more smoothly. Now, technically, Gift City also has its own exchanges like NSE IFSC and India INX. But these exchanges currently focus mainly on derivatives and global products, and the ecosystem is still kind of developing, which means the main reason many NRIs use Gift City today is simple. They want exposure to India while keeping investment inside an international foreign currency finance hub. But this is where the real question comes in. Why are so many NRIs suddenly paying attention to Gift City? The answer usually comes down to taxes and cross-border investing. Because when investments are structured through the IFSC framework, the tax treatment inside India can be very different from normal Indian investing. For example, certain qualified funds inside Gift City can have zero capital gain taxes in India at the investor level. But, and this is important, that does not mean that investing is completely tax-free. Your country of residence still matters. Let me show you a simple example. Let's say Raj invested $100,000 through Gift City funds focused on Indian equities. Over time, it grows to $150,000. That is a $50,000 gain. Now, in a normal structure, that gain could be subjected to Indian capital gain taxes depending on the investment, right? But certain qualified funds inside Gift City are structured differently. In those cases, the capital gains may not be taxed in India at the investor level at all. But this is important. Raj still lives in California, so the IRS will still tax him on those gains under US rules. Which is why Gift City is not about avoiding taxes completely. It is about creating a cleaner cross-border structure, especially for investors who want exposure to India while operating in foreign currency. Now, another big question people ask is this: what happens if Raj wants his money back in the United States? Well, this is actually one of the reasons why Gift City was created. The system is designed for cross-border capital movement. Raj wires his US dollars into Gift City, he invests through a fund or financial product, and when he exits, the proceeds can remain inside the Gift City ecosystem in foreign currency. And from there, the money can be remitted back to his overseas bank account. So instead of converting everything into rupee and then worrying about how to move it out later, the structure is designed to make international money flows smoother. And here is something many people do not know. India has also introduced what is called a tax-neutral relocation framework for certain investment moving into Gift City. In simple terms, if money is already sitting in an offshore fund, for example in places like Singapore or other global structure, it may be possible to move that into a qualifying Gift City fund without triggering Indian capital gain tax at the time of the move. This matters more for investors who already have existing global portfolios, because instead of selling everything, paying taxes, and then reinvesting, the structure can allow a cleaner transition into the Gift City ecosystem. Of course, the exact rule depends on how the investment is structured, but this is one of the reasons more sophisticated investors are starting to pay attention. Gift City is also trying to build a bigger ecosystem around these investments. For example, it has something called the Indian International Bullion Exchange. So yes, even gold can sit inside this world. That means you're not limited to just deposits or equity funds. Over time, investors may be able to use one international style hub for multiple type of assets. And if you zoom out a little, This is not something India is experimenting with for a short period. There has been a consistent push to build GIFT City into long-term global financial hub. Policies have been structured to support it over many years, not just a few quarters, which tells you one thing. This ecosystem is expected to grow. More products will come in, more participation will happen, and over time, this could become a much more important part of how NRIs invest in India. So no, GIFT City is not magic. But for the right NRI, it can be a very powerful structure. Now, if you are someone who is not just thinking about investing, but also seriously considering moving back to India at some point, then the decisions like where your money sits, how it moves, and how it is taxed become even more important. And that is exactly why I have put together a detailed guide called the NRI Return Blueprint, where I break down what to do, what to avoid, and how to think about decisions step by step. You can check that out in the description. If you like this video, I'm sure you will like this and this video as well. Your finance friend Sushant.